Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a wonderful Wednesday and a great week so far. Apologies, we did indeed mistakenly say the same thing in yesterday's video. Of course, it was not Wednesday, it was Tuesday yesterday. You're going to have to forgive me, guys. Sometimes when you spend 4/5 of your day in a dark room behind a computer screen looking at charts and various news articles, the days can kind of blend into one. So it is indeed Wednesday today. And today we're going to be delivering a Cardano video. It's going to be a nice and chilled out one, but we're going to be giving some pretty big news in relation to ADA. Samsung has gained exposure to Cardano, the blockchain, with an initiative to plant, I think it's 2 million trees. We're going to be getting into this, showing you where the exposure to Cardano actually comes from. It's through VECHAIN, which is essentially ran on top of Cardano. And not only that, typically how you donate to VECHAIN is by donating your Cardano. 1 Cardano equals 1 tree, and so on and so forth. So are Samsung going to have to buy 2 million Cardano in order to plant these trees? We'll get into it. We're also going to be talking, we will be diving into the charts. Markets are in extreme fear, which is crazy to me. You know, we've got such a bright future. There's so much to come. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, what we think setting up. We'll look at Cardano, of course. But I want to spend a bit of time talking about Cardano's competitors. And Cardano still, by many major influencers and media outlets, is completely wrote off as a competitor. People are about to get a rude awakening. Ethereum, this is I believe this was something Vitalik said on the Bankless podcast. I did really like Bankless, but the way that they've kind of unfairly footed Cardano has really left a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. But, you know, seeing is believing, I guess. We are 50% of the way there, says Vitalik Buterin, on Ethereum development. Now, he's talking about ETH2 and he's talking about Ethereum and the journey that it's on. We also see that Solana is having problems. So I think you're going to see quite a few people jumping ship from these other smart contract platforms, mainly Ethereum due to the high gas fees, the congestion and so on and so forth, and moving over to something that is maybe not more DApp development friendly, because we do know that actually building on top of Cardano can be quite challenging given the languages involved and so on and so forth. But certainly, you know, we're going to see the user base go for where they get the best customer service. In yesterday's video, we spoke about the top 100 companies in the world in terms of market cap, and one thing that they all had in common, like your Amazons, your Apples and so on, is the fact that they're adopted due to their sort of user-friendly nature. So that's what's coming for ADA. Where to start? Well, let's talk very quickly about the fact that the fear and greed index is in extreme fear. This is due to a number of things, typically or mainly due to the fact that historically, after the 4-year cycle theory, and 2021 was the last year where we were expecting this kind of parabolic run, markets tend to go into a bear market. I don't think that's the case. We spoke about that. We spoke about lengthening cycle theories, or the lengthening cycle theory, and why we think it's credible and likely to play out, and how we're in a more mature market. In the video that we made earlier, it's well worth a watch, where we talk about the cryptocurrency market as a whole. We showed you there's a lot of institutional money now flown into the crypto space. And we specifically looked at Grayscale, but there's multiple other funds out there that gain exposure to crypto, or allow these companies and institutions to gain exposure to crypto. And we're in a different kind of game. And I want to very quickly talk to you about Bitcoin and the direction I think Bitcoin's going in. Many of you may have heard it, but people that are new to the channel, and that may be in extreme fear, this may come of some usage. This is what I think is setting up. I think what happened in March 2020 is very applicable with what's taking place today. And ultimately, I think you're going to break to the upside of this structure. It doesn't look like a falling wedge. Falling wedge is rising wedge is under a number of different criterias, can actually break to the upside and with momentum. And this is a confirming factor for the kind of roadmap that I think we are on. This is the illiquid supply of Bitcoin versus the liquid supply. And you can see that you've got Bitcoin, the price, in black, and you've got in red the illiquid supply. And you can see what took place in March 2020 with the illiquid supply crossing over the actual prices taking place today, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get that into view. Can you see here? Also kind of ties in with what we think is coming for Bitcoin. So I think this is going to break to the upside. A lot of uncertainty, but that is often the breeding ground for pumps to happen when everyone's scared. When retail's in fear, typically institutions are doing the opposite. And it's the whole kind of concept of distributing and accumulating, and how they kind of play things. They play a different game that's not FOMO and emotionally driven. They play a more tactical game. For Cardano, you guys know that I ultimately think what's coming is inevitable. And this is something that I've actually pinned to the front of my Twitter before we'd kind of made this break to the upside, which of course we've retraced quite a lot of it. But I still think we're holding structure and potentially putting in a higher low, ready to set up for potentially a higher high and a higher low and break a trend to the upside. This is fundamentally backed with the DApp ecosystem coming online and the demand for Cardano going through the roof, getting eaten up in protocols, so on and so forth. We've spoken a lot about it on this channel. You are still failing to put in a lower low, and providing this holds, I think you're going to see continuation to the upside. And ultimately think we're on this fifth wave journey. We had previously had the third wave here, fourth wave here, and said you're already on your fifth wave. I think it's a lot more likely, looking at a number of schematics and different data points, that this is your third wave into your fourth, ready for your fifth. And this is the schematic that we are looking at to determine it. Very, very similar in terms of structure. Let's get into the news, and that is Samsung to plant millions of trees to fight climate change. Specifically, today, Samsung Electronic America is launching a new nature-based project to take action that supports a healthy climate and planet. Our company has set out a goal to plant 2 million trees in Madagascar by the end of the first quarter 2022. Samsung is partnering with climate solution platform VECHAIN to manage the tree planting initiative by harnessing blockchain technology to verify and track every step of the reforestation process. Number of articles here. Samsung to plant 2 million trees with blockchain technology. And of course it is through VECHAIN. VECHAIN is Cardano Forest, and they are 57% funded. So they've obviously seen an uptick recently. Typically how you would, this is ran on the Cardano blockchain. It's how they track it. And you also can actually buy ADA and donate it. It's typically how you donate. You donate your Cardano. 1 ADA equals 1 tree. So you can buy a tree right now, ladies and gentlemen, for $1.32. And Samsung have partnered with these guys. This is huge exposure, and it's really showing just another use case of the millions that are out there for blockchain. It's why it's going to see and grow in terms of market cap, because it's not niche. Certainly these smart contract protocols, you can do anything with those smart contracts. The possibilities are endless, and this is really going to open and broaden the user base, more so than certain companies potentially like Apple. Potentially in the future, it's got a wider scope where it could grow to, and we've often compared companies like Apple, or certainly Microsoft, Amazon, and what's taking place here is they've all were birthed out of a technological revolution. So does this mean that essentially Samsung are going to have to buy 2 million ADA? I'm not so sure. I've not seen that. I've not sort of really figured out how they fund it, and they'll certainly become one of the NFT holders. I would say that they're going to be a high baller. Not sure who came up with high roller. I think might have gone in there a little bit better, but hey ho. So this is how Samsung are getting exposure to Cardano, and like I say, just really highlights one of the use cases. Samsung are huge. And the next thing that I want to talk about very quickly, I didn't actually listen to this. I haven't listened to a Bankless podcast in a little while, although I do think they are quite good podcasts. I just really fell out with the way that they were bashing Cardano. I don't think it's fair, and I think it's largely due to their own special interests. And essentially here you got into our Bankless podcast episode, the co-founder of Ethereum discussed his plans to make ETH2 a success. And he goes on to explain that essentially he thinks in the first half of 2022, you're going to move from proof of work to proof of stake. And then they're essentially going to roll out things like ZK rollups and sharding and so on and so forth. So when we're going to get ETH 2.0, it doesn't look like there's any kind of certain narrative or any kind of certain date. ETH 2's been a long time ago or expected a long time ago. This is just how things roll. It's not just Ethereum. Cardano's been guilty of doing this. All chains have been guilty of doing this, saying that they're going to roll out a certain upgrade or hard fork or event and then delaying it. It's just how blockchain goes, guys. You don't want them to mess things up. So we're not bashing them for being late. What I am doing is highlighting the fact that whilst ETH 2 is under development and ETH 1 is just completely unusable for normal retail individuals in terms of it's way too expensive. I told you to unstake a token the other day, and I had to do this 3 times because I had 3 separate stakes. It cost me 380 Ethereum or $380 in gas fees. It's just insanity. It's completely unusable. So that's, nearly 1,200 quid in terms of, well, over 1,200 quid in terms of just gas fees alone, just to use the chain. And that's before I'd even sent it to an exchange and made that transaction happen. Also, we've got Solana. Solana hit with another network incident causing degraded performance. This is not uncommon. Now, the way that they've done things, we made a tweet the other day saying stop backing VC-funded projects, because the only reason those VCs have had a huge role in getting to the coin to where it is today, there may be no, it's almost like, it's kind of like a pump and dump. I'm not saying Solana is a pump and dump. I think they have they have quite a bit going on underneath the hood. But to me, it's not as impressive as what Cardano has got underneath the hood. And I think Cardano absolutely deserves that third spot because they're not centralized in the way that Binance and Solana are. You could say maybe they are in one aspect of things, in the sense that IOH, K or IOG, are still implemented in a slight way in sort of the running of it, but they are planning on removing themselves. One reason Solana and Binance are so good is because of who's backing them. It's not really that much based on fundamentals. If you're looking at fundamentals, one reason I'm so impressed with Cardano, and this has become a largely Cardano channel, although we do talk about other cryptos, as we do hold 43-ish different cryptocurrencies, and we are adding to those, the fundamentals are just unbelievable for ADA. I think they've done things the right way. I think they are what Ethereum was meant to be. And in terms of evolution, they're a third generation blockchain that's here to stay and has the credibility to upgrade. So that's really all I have for you. I think this is all driving. We've got what's coming around the corner. We're going to see, in my opinion, a migration, and you're going to end up with something like this where, we've got this fifth wave over here to come. That's really all I have for you in this video, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, like is always appreciated. So is a comment. If you're looking for a pool to delegate, we do have the pool all in. We have lost quite a few delegators due to some of the ISPOs going on at the moment, but they will return and we will establish ourselves as a stake pool that's here to stay and play an active role in maintaining the Cardano network. Thank you very much for watching, guys. There's a link to the Discord in the description, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya.